For years, Taylor Swift wrote songs about heartbreak, second chances, and the hope of finding a love that would finally last. Millions of fans followed every relationship, every lyric, and every headline, wondering if she would ever get the happy ending they had been singing about for years. At the same time, Travis Kelce was building a completely different legacy. He was one of football's biggest stars, focused on championships, never imagining that one bold decision at a concert would change the course of his life forever. What happened next wasn't planned by Hollywood, and it wasn't the result of a publicity stunt. It began with a friendship bracelet that never reached its destination. Yet somehow started one of the most talked about celebrity love stories of the decade. From secret phone calls and unexpected public appearances to worldwide media attention, unforgettable moments, and the wedding that captured global headlines, their journey unfolded in ways almost no one could have predicted. But behind the viral photos and glamorous celebrations is a much deeper story, one filled with risk, timing, criticism, and two people learning how to build a relationship while the entire world watched. This is the complete story of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. From the moment their paths first crossed to the relationship that became one of the biggest cultural stories in recent years. Before Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce ever became one of the world's most talked about couples, they were living in completely different worlds, each chasing a dream that demanded everything they had. By the early 2020, Taylor Swift had already transformed from a teenage country singer into one of the most influential artists in music history. Her albums broke records, her tours filled stadiums across continents, and millions of fans connected with her through deeply personal songwriting. But alongside every career milestone came relentless public attention. Every relationship, every breakup, and every lyric became global headlines. For years, the world watched her search for lasting love almost as closely as it followed her music. Meanwhile, more than 700 miles away in Kansas City, Travis Kelce was building a legacy of his own, widely regarded as one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. He had become a cornerstone of the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. Multiple championship victories, unforgettable playoff performances, and a charismatic personality made him one of football's biggest stars. Yet, despite his success on the field, his life remained centered around competition, discipline, and the pursuit of another championship. And, on the surface, their worlds couldn't have been more different. One commanded sold-out concerts with a microphone. The other electrified packed stadiums with a football. Their careers followed different paths. Their audiences rarely overlapped, and there was no obvious reason to believe their lives would ever intersect. But timing has a way of changing everything. In the summer of 2023, as Taylor's record-breaking Eras Tour captivated audiences around the world, one NFL superstar quietly attended a concert with a simple idea. It wasn't a publicity stunt or a carefully planned media moment. It was a small gesture that, at the time, seemed almost insignificant. That single decision would soon spark a chain of events that neither Taylor nor Travis could have predicted. What began with a friendship bracelet would eventually become one of the most talked about celebrity love stories of the decade. Sometimes, history doesn't begin with a grand plan. Sometimes, it begins with a missed opportunity. On July 8, 2023, Taylor Swift arrived at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City as part of her record-breaking Eras Tour. More than 70,000 fans packed the venue, creating an unforgettable atmosphere. Among them was Kansas City Chiefs star Travis Kelce, who had come with one simple goal. Inspired by the tradition of Swifties exchanging friendship bracelets, he made one of his own. But this bracelet wasn't just another souvenir. It had his phone number on it. His hope was simple. Somehow, he would find a way to give it to Taylor after the show. That moment never came. Tomdia, like many artists during a demanding stadium tour, Taylor followed a strict post-show routine to protect her voice. Meeting fans backstage wasn't part of the schedule, and Travis left without ever handing over the bracelet he had carefully prepared. Banjo. For most people, that would have been the end of the story. But a few weeks later, Travis shared the experience on his New Heights podcast with his brother, Jason Kelce. At his own failed attempt, he admitted he was a little butthurt that he couldn't give Taylor the bracelet. His comments weren't dramatic or rehearsed. They felt genuine, light-hearted, and surprisingly relatable. Dons within hours, clips from the podcast spread across TikTok, X, Instagram, and YouTube. Fans praised his confidence, joked about the bracelet, and wondered whether Taylor would ever hear the story. What started as a funny anecdote quickly became one of the internet's biggest celebrity conversations. At that moment, nobody knew what was happening behind the scenes. There was no public confirmation of contact between them, no official statements, and no photographs suggesting anything more than a viral story. Genius. Yet that simple bracelet had already accomplished something unexpected. It had introduced Travis Kelce into Taylor Swift's world, and it had sparked curiosity across millions of people who had never imagined these two global stars would one day become linked. Rommed. As the internet continued speculating, something quietly began unfolding away from cameras and headlines. What fans didn't realize was that the real story wasn't happening on social media anymore. It was happening in private. By the end of the summer of 2023, the friendship bracelet story had become one of the internet's favorite celebrity moments. Fans continued making jokes, creating, and wondering whether Taylor Swift had ever heard about Travis Kelce's failed attempt to meet her. What they didn't know was that the story was already moving beyond public speculation. Months later, Taylor would reveal that after Travis mentioned her on the New Heights podcast, they quietly began spending time getting to know each other in private. Unlike many celebrity relationships that become public almost immediately, this one started away from cameras, headlines, and social media. They were able to build a connection before the world even realized there was a story to follow. That decision would prove to be one of the smartest choices they made. By the time rumors of a possible relationship began circulating in September 2023, they had already shared weeks of private conversations. While tabloids searched for clues and fans analyzed every rumor online, neither Taylor nor Travis publicly confirmed anything. Instead, they allowed the speculation to grow while continuing to keep their personal lives out of the spotlight. Everything changed on 24 September 2023. Taylor Swift made a surprise appearance at Arrowhead Stadium to watch the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Chicago Bears. Sitting in a suite alongside Travis Kelce's mother, Donna Kelce, she cheered throughout the game as television cameras repeatedly captured her reactions. The NFL broadcast quickly turned into something much bigger than football. Every smile, every celebration, and every camera shot became headline news around the world. But the biggest moment came after the final whistle. Taylor and Travis were seen leaving the stadium together before later attending an after-party with friends. Although neither of them publicly labeled the relationship at the time, the images spread across global media within hours. For millions of people, it felt like the moment the rumors became reality. Almost overnight, sports fans began following pop culture headlines, while Swifties found themselves watching NFL games every Sunday. Two completely different audiences had suddenly become part of the same story. What had begun with a simple friendship bracelet had evolved into one of the most unexpected celebrity romances in recent memory. Stensed. But becoming a public couple was only the beginning. Laned. Because, as their relationship grew stronger, the attention surrounding them grew even faster, and soon, every appearance they made together would become international news. For most couples, the early months of a relationship are private. There are quiet dinners, long conversations, and time to learn about each other away from the world's attention. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce never had that luxury. Ban. The moment Taylor appeared at Arrowhead Stadium in September 2023, their relationship became international news. Every game, every dinner, and every public appearance turned into a headline. Television cameras searched for Taylor in the crowd before kickoff. Photographers followed them after games, and social media analyzed every interaction, frame by frame. Minda. Instead of avoiding the attention, they learned how to navigate it together. Manda. Throughout the 2023 NFL season, Taylor attended several Chiefs games whenever her Eras Tour schedule allowed. Fans watched her celebrate touchdowns alongside Travis's family, especially his mother, Donna Kelce, whose warmth and support quickly made her a fan favorite. Every celebration in the suite became a viral clip, reaching millions of viewers within minutes. Pack stretched far beyond football. Clumbed. The NFL experienced a surge in interest from audiences who had rarely watched the sport before. Broadcasts frequently showed Taylor during games, sparking debates among fans. Some welcomed the crossover between music and sports, while others argued the coverage had become excessive. Regardless of opinion, one thing was undeniable. Whenever Taylor attended a game, television ratings, online engagement, and social media conversations exploded. At the same time, Travis became a familiar face beyond the football field. He appeared at international Eras Tour concerts whenever his schedule allowed, proudly supporting Taylor from the audience. Fans captured emotional moments of him singing along, exchanging smiles backstage, and celebrating her achievements just as she celebrated his on the field. Bombia. What stood out wasn't just the glamorous public appearances. It was the way they consistently supported each other's careers. Neither asked the other to step away from the spotlight. Instead, they embraced each other's worlds, proving that one relationship could successfully bridge two of the biggest industries in entertainment and sports. Land by early 2024, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had become far more than a celebrity couple. They represented a culture bringing together millions of football fans and music lovers in a way few people could have imagined. Lens. But while the world celebrated every public moment, one question continued to dominate. Headlines. Could this relationship actually lead to marriage? As Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship grew stronger, so did the speculation surrounding their future. What had started with a friendship bracelet had evolved into one of the world's most closely watched celebrity romances. Naturally, the question everyone began asking was no longer, are they dating? It had become, when will they get engaged? Manda. Every public appearance seemed to fuel a new wave of rumors. When a Taylor was photographed wearing a ring, social media exploded with theories. If the couple attended a family gathering, fans wondered whether a proposal had already happened behind closed doors. Even anonymous tabloid reports claiming an engagement was just around the corner spread rapidly across the internet, despite offering little or no verified evidence. Neither Taylor nor Travis rushed to respond. Instead, they continued focusing on their careers, while allowing the speculation to run its course. Taylor remained in the middle of the historic Eras Tour, performing for millions of fans across the globe, while Travis prepared for another demanding NFL season. Their schedules were among the busiest in entertainment and professional sports, yet they continued finding ways to support one another whenever possible. What made the rumors believable wasn't an official announcement. It was the way they appeared together. Friends, family members, and those close to the couple often described the relationship as genuine, supportive, and built on mutual respect. To many fans, it seemed less like a publicity-driven romance and more like two successful people navigating extraordinary lives together. As months passed, engagement rumors became almost constant. Every major holiday, birthday, or special event sparked fresh predictions that Travis was about to propose. Headlines appeared, disappeared, and then returned again, each claiming to know what would happen next. Lands. But despite endless speculation, the couple chose not to let public expectations dictate the pace of their relationship. Sometimes, the strongest relationships aren't measured by announcements or headlines. They're measured by consistency, trust, and the quiet moments the public never gets to see. Yet, as anticipation, millions of fans believed the next chapter of their story was only a matter of time. After months of anticipation, endless speculation, and one of the most closely followed celebrity relationships in recent memory, it had finally arrived. On July 3, 2026, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce exchanged vows in a private ceremony at New York City's iconic Madison Square Garden. While the venue is usually known for championship games and sold-out concerts, for one evening it was transformed into one of the most exclusive wedding venues the entertainment world had ever seen. Privacy was the couple's highest priority. Guests received highly confidential invitations, strict security protocols were enforced, and phones were not permitted inside the ceremony. Even many invited guests didn't learn the exact location until just hours before the celebration began, ensuring that one of the world's biggest celebrity weddings remained remarkably private. Unlike many Hollywood weddings, Taylor and Travis chose to keep the ceremony deeply personal. Instead of traditional bridesmaids and groomsmen, Taylor's brother, Austin Swift, served as her man of honor, while Travis's brother, Jason Kelce, stood beside him as best man. Family, rather than spectacle, became the center of the celebration. The ceremony itself was officiated by longtime friend Adam Sandler, adding an unexpected but heartfelt touch to the occasion. As guests celebrated inside, fans gathered outside Madison Square Garden, hoping to witness even the smallest glimpse of history. Although very little was revealed during the event itself, the excitement spread across social media within minutes. News organizations around the world interrupted regular programming to report that one of pop culture's most famous couples had officially become husband and wife. For millions of fans, the wedding represented far more than a celebrity event. It marked the conclusion of a journey that had begun 3 years earlier with a simple friendship bracelet and an unexpected podcast story. What once seemed like an impossible crossover between the worlds of music and football had become a real-life love story watched by millions across the globe. But as the celebrations came to an end, another question began to emerge. What comes next for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce after the wedding that captivated the world? When Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding came to an end, the celebration may have been over, but the conversation was just beginning. Within hours of the ceremony, social media was flooded with a new question. Had the couple secretly filmed their wedding for a documentary? The speculation wasn't entirely random. Guests had reportedly noticed professional camera crews throughout parts of the celebration, while production equipment arriving at Madison Square Garden fueled even more curiosity online. Almost immediately, fans began wondering whether Netflix, Disney Plus, or another major streaming platform had secured exclusive access to what many were already calling the celebrity wedding of the decade. The rumors spread at incredible speed. TikTok creators analyzed every available photograph. YouTube channels published theories about a possible behind-the-scenes film. Entertainment blogs debated whether Taylor and Travis were preparing to share their love story with the world, while fans searched for hidden clues that might reveal a future release date. The excitement made sense. Taylor Swift has previously invited fans behind the scenes through projects such as Miss Americana and the Eras Tour concert film, both of which offered a rare look into her life and career. Travis Kelce, meanwhile, had become increasingly comfortable with long-form storytelling through his New Heights podcast and various television appearances. Together, they seem like the perfect couple to produce a documentary. But despite the growing excitement, no official announcement was made. Neither Taylor nor Travis confirmed that a documentary was in production, and no major streaming platform announced an upcoming release. While cameras were present during parts of the wedding, many industry experts noted that professional filming is common at high-profile celebrity events, often for private archives, family keepsakes, or limited promotional purposes, rather than public distribution. For now, the idea of a wedding documentary remains exactly that, a possibility, not a confirmed project. Yet the rumors reveal something much bigger. Millions of people aren't simply interested in Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship anymore. They want to understand the story behind it. They want to see the moments that happened away from the flashing cameras, the stadium lights, and the viral headlines. And perhaps that's the greatest sign of this couple's cultural impact. Long after the wedding, people are still hoping there's another chapter waiting to be told. Every great love story eventually reaches a moment where it becomes bigger than the two people at its center. For Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, that moment wasn't defined by a single concert, a championship victory, or even their wedding day. It was defined by the impact their relationship had on millions of people around the world. When their paths first crossed in the summer of 2023, few believed the relationship would last. Many dismissed it as another celebrity headline that would dominate social media for a few weeks before quietly fading away. Instead, the opposite happened. Together, they bridged two worlds that had rarely overlapped before. Taylor introduced millions of music fans to professional football, while Travis helped bring NFL audiences into the world of one of the biggest artists of a generation. Sunday football broadcasts, while sports fans who had never listened to Taylor's music found themselves following her career. Their relationship became something far greater than celebrity gossip. It became a cultural phenomenon. But perhaps their greatest achievement wasn't measured by television ratings, sold-out stadiums, or trending hashtags. It was the way they consistently supported one another. Whether Taylor was cheering from a stadium suite during the biggest games of Travis' career, or Travis was traveling across continents to support the Eras Tour, they showed that two people at the top of completely different professions could celebrate each other's success without competing for the spotlight. That balance became one of the defining reasons so many people connected with their story. Of course, living under constant public attention has never been easy. Every appearance, every interview, and every personal decision became the subject of worldwide discussion. Yet through it all, they remained remarkably consistent, choosing to keep the most meaningful parts of their relationship private, while sharing just enough for fans to celebrate alongside them. Years from now, people may remember the sold-out concerts, the championship victories, and the unforgettable wedding. But they'll also remember something much simpler, a friendship bracelet, a missed opportunity. A podcast story that almost nobody expected to matter, and the extraordinary journey that followed. Land. Sometimes the biggest moments in history don't begin with grand speeches or carefully planned events. Sometimes they begin with one small act of courage, a decision to take a chance, even without knowing what the outcome will be. Blammed for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That single decision changed two lives forever. And for millions who watched their story unfold, it became a reminder that the most unforgettable chapters are often the ones no one sees coming.